We've been talking all day about how AI is changing the face of entrepreneurship, of live streaming, and of running your business. And today we are talking all about how ChatGPT is changing SEO. We are talking with an SEO expert today. We're going to get all of your questions answered. And if you are just jumping in, hello and welcome. We are celebrating right now as BeLive turns 7 years old today. We are doing a massive giveaway in all of our episodes. We are actually going to be giving away some pretty cool stuff today. If you are brand new to live streaming, if you're already using BeLive, or if you're jumping in for the first time, BeLive is giving us a great opportunity because for their 7-year anniversary, they're giving away 2 years of BeLive for the price of one. We're going to drop that in the comments for you down below. And if you comment today asking questions, letting us know what you're loving about today's episode, we are giving away 7 months of free paid BeLive. So make sure you get those questions in so we can get those answers while we're going. And we are going to be noting your comments as they are coming in. Today, we are hanging out talking all about SEO and how we can actually shape that with the use of tools like ChatGPT. We are hanging out with Julian Goldie. Julian, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So I run my own SEO agency and I help websites rank #1 with search engine optimization. So I help them build backlinks and create content on their websites. I have a team of 50 people in my agency doing that. I have a couple of books about SEO out, over 30,000 people on Udemy following my courses, and a YouTube channel with over 40,000 subscribers as well. So talk a lot about SEO.
And you really know what you're talking about. You've got a great following, lots of engaged people, and you have proof that what you're talking about is actually working really well for you. We're going to talk a little bit about that today. If you're jumping in and joining us and you have questions for Julian, go ahead and drop those into the comments. We'll be monitoring those as we go. Julian, I want to talk a little bit about leveraging ChatGPT for SEO. So for people who maybe are just getting into this, how can they be using ChatGPT to leverage and improve their SEO strategies?
So I think one of the best ways that's quite obvious for everyone is to scale up your content. So typically with Google, if you target the right keywords, aka you figure out what people are typing into Google and you do your research on that, then for every single keyword that you want to create content around, you can use ChatGPT. And previously, what would cost thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars to do with a team of human writers and editors, and even creating the outlines for those pages would take hours and require a lot of management time. Now you can scale up and you can create dozens, if not thousands of articles at scale for SEO using ChatGPT. And for me, I've tested it. We've actually created over 23 websites just this year, all with hundreds of articles on them, and had insane results from using AI and ChatGPT. So really powerful process.
That's so interesting. We've been talking about artificial intelligence all day here on BeLive. If you guys have not seen our previous episodes, make sure you check them out. We had Irene Chan, we had Tony Ilicasas, and we've been breaking down what you need to know about artificial intelligence and how you can be using that inside of your business. And we've talked about the pros, we've talked about the cons, and Julian is using ChatGPT to help with SEO. But we know while there's some really cool things, there's also some things we need to be aware of. We need to be taken care of and being a little cautious of. So, Julian, break down the pitfalls of using ChatGPT for SEO specialists.
Sure. So number one, you need to be really careful if you're in a niche where if you get the facts wrong, it could create some harm to the person reading it. So if you look at, your money or your life, YMYL niches, for example, health, law is another good one, investing, trading, all of these sort of niches, I wouldn't recommend actually using ChatGPT for those niches because, for example, if you give someone the wrong information on health, well, there's serious consequences to that. And you as a website owner have to be ethical about that. Additionally, one of the other biggest problems is that sometimes, not saying everyone, I'm sure not the person watching this, but sometimes we can be a little bit lazy with AI. And I've seen a lot of people who just copy and paste from ChatGPT straight into their website. And that's a big issue simply because if you're not quality checking the content and if you're not editing it in any single way, then the content that you produce can be a bit fluffy from ChatGPT, or there could be facts that are wrong in there, or it's just not optimized beyond the 80/20 for SEO. So there's a lot of pitfalls with that as well. And of course, ChatGPT doesn't always get it right. Like, it can hallucinate a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And I've seen it make up all sorts of things, and I read it, I'm like,
Yep.
what are you talking about? So you have to be very careful with all these sort of things. Additionally, nobody really knows the long-term risks of using AI when it comes to ChatGPT. So right now, Google says, sure, it's totally fine to
Mhm.
create content, whether it's AI written, whether it's human written, that doesn't matter. But could that change one day? Absolutely. So I think the main thing is that you're quality checking the content, editing it before it's posted, fact checking everything, and just going beyond a copy and paste method.
And I think it's really important to point out that it's not always correct. I'm a best-selling fiction author, and I, with my lawyer, have gone in and asked it questions about my novels, and it completely made them up. Characters, plot lines, everything, even though my books are out in the public and there's a lot of information about them. So you do have to be fact-checking, and you have to make sure you go in and you tailor it to what your clients are going to need. So I love that you've pointed that out. I think that's really important that we aren't just blindly trusting these things, because while it can work to our benefit, it can also hurt us just a little bit. Now, I know if we are going to be implementing this into what we're doing with our strategies to build up our SEO on our websites, to promote our live streams and the other things we're doing inside of our businesses, we actually have the ability to help use this to level up what we're doing. So, if we have people who have websites, who are creating things for their websites, they've got existing workflows, what can we do to level up those existing workflows by using something like ChatGPT?
So one of my favorite workflows using ChatGPT is actually, before you even create the content, you can use the plugins feature on ChatGPT 4, and you just select plugins inside ChatGPT, and you would say to the AI, reverse engineer for whatever keyword you're targeting. Let's say, can cats eat bananas? Reverse engineer for cats eats bananas, the top 10 competitors on Google, scrape their websites, figure out what keywords they're using in their content, the word count of the content they're writing, how the content is structured, what sort of headings I should create, etc. And basically, what you're doing here is you're reverse engineering your top 10 competitors. And success with SEO always hides in plain sight on the first page of Google. So if you can figure out what your competitors are doing to rank automatically using ChatGPT, then you don't need to pay for any fancy content outline tools that would normally cost hundreds of dollars per month. And you can create a really nice, simple to follow content outline using ChatGPT and Webpilot. And that's one of my absolute favorite features.
You know, we actually had a really good conversation with Irene earlier today. She was talking all about how we can use AI to kind of evaluate what we're doing in our businesses. But you make a great point. We can evaluate what our competitors are doing as well and save ourselves a lot of time trying to figure out what is working for them so that we can implement our own version of that into our businesses. And if you want lots of really great information on how you can be implementing AI into your business strategies, make sure you're checking out today's earlier episodes and the episodes coming out over the course of the week. We are celebrating BeLive's 7th anniversary. We've got giveaways for you, and the more you comment, the more you are entered into our jar here, where you could potentially be winning 7 months of the paid features of BeLive to celebrate BeLive's birthday today. So we're calling out to you. If you have questions for Julian, now's the time, drop those in. If you're getting really good nuggets of information that you want to talk about, now's the time to point out what you are loving from Julian. And we also want to hear from you what you are hoping to see the rest of the week throughout BeLive's celebratory episodes here on their platforms. If you have not given them a follow, now is the time. But we want to make sure that you are jumping into the celebration as well. And if you have not grabbed their special deal, 2 years for the price of one right now, this is the best deal you can get on BeLive. It is better than what's on their website, better than what they let me give to my students. And we want to make sure that you are getting access to live streaming so that you can build up what you're doing, use it on your website, and build up what you're doing with your SEO to get more views on your live stream replays. So, Julian, I want to talk a little bit about how ChatGPT and AI is changing websites' SEOs. Can you tell us a little bit about some of those success stories you were mentioning earlier and how you did things the right way to build up the SEO for these websites?
Sure. So if we take one example, chipperbirds.com, this is a birds website that makes money through affiliate marketing and through ads on the website, makes about $1,000 a month right now. Now, previously, when we were using ChatGPT, when we were using human written content for this website, we couldn't create content at the scale to grow it because it didn't make sense in terms of profitability. So previously, it might cost us $50 or $100 to get a writer to create an article, then you have to wait for it to rank, and that becomes extremely expensive if you try and scale it up, right? With AI, what we actually did was start creating 15 articles a day, targeting the right keywords, and all of a sudden we were creating 15 times more content than we previously were at a fraction of the cost of a normal human writer. And the traffic went from this site for, it was previously about 200 or 300 visitors per day from SEO. And that scaled up to over 2,000 at its peak. So it's absolutely insane. Now, there's a few other caveats to that because yes, it's important to use ChatGPT content, like you can use that to scale up your content. But also, it's about the keyword research as well. So if you can find the low competition keywords that your competitors can't go for simply because it's too expensive with human writers, but you can create content at scale for those keywords and get more traffic, even though they're not that profitable, simply because ChatGPT content is way cheaper than human writers, then all of a sudden you've got a keyword strategy where there's less competition, it's easy to create content, and it's profitable to scale with ChatGPT. So that's one of the most powerful strategies you can use, I think, with SEO and ChatGPT. And then additionally, link building. So if you can build backlinks to your website, this is what 91% of websites struggle with. And statistically, 90% of websites never get their content seen from traffic on Google. Like every website struggles with link building. So if you can build backlinks to your content on your website that's created with ChatGPT and you've got the right keyword strategy in place, you've got a much higher chance of ranking. Now, you might ask, what are backlinks? Essentially, this is just the clickable text from one website to another. And the more backlinks you have, the more kind of votes you have to say that your content is good. So
That makes a
link
lot of
building, keyword research, and content. Yeah.
fantastic. And I think it's really important that you have mentioned that while you are creating this really great content, you can also kind of mix in some human elements to this. You can do things with ChatGPT that you can't with humans because it does cost a lot of money. It does take a lot more time. There's a lot more effort that goes into it. So you can save some of your really good content that you want for that human element to bring in those professional writers, to bring in your own work to this, and then you can use ChatGPT to kind of build up the rest of it so that you can get seen, so that you can rank, so that you can do all of those things as you're integrating this with the content that you are creating. So, we usually, when we are having these conversations, always get a question about the ideal way to integrate ChatGPT with content writing workflows. So, Julian, in your opinion, what is the best way to integrate using something like an AI tool with your writing?
So what I would use is ChatGPT to generate the outline before you create the content using Webpilot and the plugins workflow we talked about before. And then once you've got that outline, I would actually get ChatGPT to write the content. But I think if you can edit it for 10 or 15 minutes yourself before you publish it, then that's a really nice workflow because you've automated the outline and it's based on your competitors. You've created the content, but you've actually edited it and quality checked it before. Now, one thing I would also recommend is when you have the content generated by ChatGPT, you can type in a prompt like, what needs to be fact checked inside this article? And it'll actually give you a list of all the statistics or data or research done in that article that you can quickly check. Okay, is this hallucinated or is this actually real? And that way, before you publish your content, you know you fact checked all the main statistics in the article. Saves you getting into any trouble later.
That's a really good point. I hadn't thought of that before to ask what to fact check. I absolutely love that tip. If you guys take nothing else away, I think that is the golden nugget. You can get your content from something like an AI tool Ask it what you need to fact check to double check it, and then go through and edit it yourself before you're putting this out into the world. Now, you may have questions about what about copyright protection? What about the legal side of things? And if you do, we had an earlier episode with everybody's favorite IP and entertainment lawyer, Tony, where he breaks down the copyright protection side of the content created by something like an AI tool. Make sure you're checking out that episode if you want to learn more about that. We've got lots of resources on this. We actually have a really great question, Julian. Gab wants to know, have you ever tried using ChatGPT to generate SEO alt text for bulk images? Is this something that's possible now?
Yeah, I don't want to get too complicated on this, but my workflow for that is that you can generate the images at bulk with AI as well. And then when it comes to the alt text, which is just the text that will appear if the image cannot be loaded, or some websites can't host the image, etc., then you can actually edit that inside WP Sheets, which is a plugin inside WordPress. But however you edit the alt text, I think it's a tiny 1% tweak. So it's not like the keyword research or the content or the backlinks, which is like the 20% of work that gets 80% of the results. But the alt text you can add in, it's a little 1% tweak. I don't think it's going to make a massive difference to your rankings. And yeah, you can edit it in bulk, which is what Gab's asking about. And you can easily insert that inside WP Sheets plugin on WordPress, which is free as well.
We love a free tool, especially if it's going to help our workflow to be a little bit faster and a little bit stronger. If you are still with us, if you're just jumping in with us, we are collecting your comments and your questions for Julian. We are about to do a giveaway in just a couple of minutes. So, this is your final call to get those comments in, get the questions in. Tell us what you have learned and loved from today's episode. Tell us what questions you have, or what fears, frustrations, or interests you have in using something like ChatGPT to help your SEO on your website, to build up what you're doing as an entrepreneur. This is your last call to get those in for us. And before we get to our giveaway today, Julian, I want to know your predictions, because we are seeing the ever evolving world of SEO. How do you predict we're going to see the role of tools like ChatGPT in the future of search engine optimization?
It's a great question. So, number one, a lot of people predict that 99% of content in the future will be created in some way by AI. And I think that's inevitable, because if you look at the growth of ChatGPT, it's only been, 11 months since it came out last year. And the percentage of website owners using it is just increasing all the time. And I think the sentiment around it is changing as well. So previously, a lot of website owners were hesitant to use it, or they figured that you might get a Google penalty for using it. I think the sentiment is changing now, where people realize if you don't adapt, if you don't start using this technology, then you have a competitive disadvantage, because if you're not using it, your competitors will, and this content actually ranks. So it's only going to become more important. I think we're only going to see more tools that will be important, which will be really powerful for leveraging ChatGPT. For example, you've got bulk generating tools for content like Autoblogging AI, where you can publish 100 articles in 1 minute if you want to, with a set of keywords. Additionally, I think a few things are going to change, because if everyone can create content and we all have access to the same tools, the same technology, the same prompts, etc., then it's really a matter of figuring out, okay, how do I differentiate my website and content from everyone else's? And I think that comes down to three things. Number one, branding. So the content that you create, the brand, the authority that you have, the PR that you get to your brand. For example, are you published on the biggest journals in your industry, etc.? Because Google can really check whether you're an authority on the topic you talk about. That makes a big difference. On top of that, I believe semantics make a massive difference, which is just the way, it sounds fancy, but it's just the way that the keywords are laid out on the page, right? So if you've got a page where all the words on the page are semantically relevant, then that signals to Google that your content is very in depth and very relevant to the topic you're talking about. And that differentiates you from everyone else too. Additionally, backlinks. So like I was talking about before, if you can get more backlinks to your website, that's going to leverage more authority to your site. And that differentiates your site from everyone else's, because you haven't just created the content using ChatGPT, but you've created these votes, backlinks, to say that your content is good. And that helps a lot too.
That makes a lot of sense. I love those predictions. We are going to be following along with how things change over the coming months and years in the future. We cannot wait to have you back to see just how well your predictions ended up working. We are going to be giving away some really great prizes in just a couple of minutes. But if you want to continue to learn more about how you can use AI to help with your SEO and how to triple your traffic with backlinks, we do have a free book for you. Julian, tell us a little bit about link building mastery.
Sure. So my free book, Link Building Mastery, is available at juliangoldie.com. And I believe the link's in the comments as well, which is great. And basically, you can get this free book and it teaches you exactly how to build backlinks to your content. So if you want to leverage more authority to your site, if you want to boost your rankings, backlinks are one of the most important ranking factors. And this book teaches you exactly how to do that.
And you can grab that over at Julian's website. Make sure you are checking that out right now. And if you want to get in on all of the fun, we are not done giving away fabulous things. Julian brought some great presents here with the book, but we are also bringing the presents from Be Live as we celebrate their 7th anniversary. Right now, you can get 2 years of Be Live for the price of one. That is 50%, guys. That is a really good price. Better than anything you can find on their website, better than anything they're allowing me to give to my students. So now is the time to grab that. If you are live streaming, if you're thinking about getting into live streaming, if you want to give it as a gift to a friend, the holidays are coming up. Now is the time. You cannot get a deal this good anywhere else aside from these live streams. And we are live streaming all week long in celebration of Be Live's anniversary. We are wrapping up for today. We've had 3 incredible episodes all about AI, but we are talking business. We're talking live streaming. We've got some great guests and great hosts over the next couple of days, and it's all going to wrap up in just a few days with a big celebration. I'm hosting along with Grant Saunders, and we are so excited for what's happening over the next couple of days. But before we get there, we need to do a giveaway. We're really excited. We are giving away 7 months of free paid Be Live to one lucky person. We're going to go ahead and we are going to select our winner. Gab, congratulations. You are getting 7 free months of paid Be Live features. This is going to help you to jump into your live streaming to make sure you're building up your website, you're repurposing that content, and you are building up what you're doing through your SEO by paying attention to things like your backlinks and by using something like ChatGPT and other AI tools to help you expand what you're doing with your SEO. Julian, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. We appreciate all of
Thank you.
your knowledge and your insights. Where can everybody find you to connect with you online?
Best way to find me is on YouTube. If you type in Julian Goldie on YouTube, then I publish a new crazy experiment with AI and SEO every day.
And we cannot wait to check out more from you. Thank you so much for your time, your knowledge, and all of the great information today. Friends, if you have any final questions, go ahead and send them over to Julian's social media, to his website, and here on Be Live. We will be monitoring the questions so that we are getting these answered over the next couple of days and weeks. This episode is going out on all of the platforms, and we want to make sure that we are giving you all of the valuable information. So let us know what you want to see in our continuation of our Be Live celebration. As always, Julian brings the gold to the table. We're so excited
Thank
that
you,
you are
Gab.
here and joining us today. Happy birthday, Be Live, from the IP professor who was here earlier today. Thanks for coming back, Tony. And we want to see you in our upcoming episodes. Join us again tomorrow. We've got some great episodes all the way through this week as we are celebrating Be Live's 7th birthday. We will see you